Hey YouTube fragrance family, welcome to another Robes 08 fragrance review. Today is on the house of Bulgari and one of their many tea-based scents, this one called Eau Parfumée au Thé Vert. Let's get to it. Eau Parfumée au Thé Vert hit the shelves in 1992. Bottle sizes are the 2.5 ounce, which I currently own, and the larger bottle, the 5 ounce bottle. Eau Parfumée au Thé Vert also has quite a large range of other products, including soaps, shower gels, etc., which I hear are also very excellent. They actually have been picked up by a few hotel chains and are still being utilized in those hotel chains now in 2016. So it can show you the longevity of this fragrance and how popular it has been. If you are a huge advocate of this scent, go check out the other products that Bulgari does offer for this particular scent. Concentration is EDC. It also has a flanker available that I have never smelt, so you guys can slap me in the face if you wish, which is called, basically it adds the word extreme to it, which was also made by Monsieur Ellena. So I gotta go get my nose on this flanker and see what it gives us. Now onto the bottle in a box presentation. As you can see from the box, a very large box, lots of attention to detail, perfume house. This is basically the same sticker and it is embossed here. And Eau Thé Vert, EDC, I got the 75 ml. You can see that they do have an attention to detail. I love that they put the brand name inside here on the box up here too. In the back, some information, some at the bottom too. Mine came with a leaflet. I don't know if they offer this anymore, but they do offer a variety of products, and it's all in this leaflet. And it has that like green hint to it at the bottom too, so a nice touch by Bulgari there. I'm not going to go into too much detail as far as that goes. Bottle itself has that smoked glass type of look. Not smoked, more frosted. As you can see, like a light green hue to it. Very, very nice attention to detail. I love these bottles, actually. They're really nice in person. If you've seen any, and then you see this white sticker in the front to tell you the fragrance. You got your sticker at the bottom, frosted glass in the back. The top of the cap has the detail of Bulgari on it. You remove the top. Atomizer's pretty decent. And the cap itself is plastic, however it's a green hue to it. Nice attention to detail, I think. Really nice presentation by the house of Bulgari. Now the nose behind this fragrance is the one and only Jean-Claude Ellena, my favorite perfumier of all time. His resume speaks for itself. This particular fragrance is the only one with its flanker, the extreme version that Jean-Claude Ellena has done for the house of Bulgari. This fragrance right here was actually developed by Monsieur Ellena for a Dior launch. Now you may know this fragrance, a classic in our men's fragrance game back in the late 80s. Ellena made this juice for this fragrance right here, Fahrenheit. So he actually won basically the brief for Fahrenheit. So this scent was supposed to be in this bottle with Christian Dior. Dior loved this juice right here. Ellena was actually told that he won the brief for Fahrenheit. Next day, right after, they changed their minds. The marketers were uncomfortable with this juice, with the abstract quality of Ellena's juice. Now, personally, in my personal opinion, it was a great decision by the Dior house, as this juice probably would not have been the powerhouse seller in the men's game as what we know right here in Fahrenheit. So Ellena, kind of distraught with that news. He thought he won the brief for Fahrenheit. He thought it was going to be, you know, this new fresh style, and as you know, fragrances in the 80s, they were powerhouses. So he was really looking forward to this launch. He brought this idea to YSL. They told him it was actually too creative. So as you can see, he was a little dejected. Then Bulgari approached Ellena. They wanted a fragrance to scent the stores. They wanted to extend the brand of Bulgari. So Ellena presented them the draft of this tea scent right here. Bulgari loved it. They started utilizing it in stores without any marketing or any fanfare. Ellena was called by the manager of Bulgari one day to report The store in New York City was selling 10 bottles of this stuff a day. Pricing, a whopping $350 a bottle, no less. So selling 10 bottles of this stuff for $350, they felt like they were sitting on a gold gem here. So they decided to finally market this scent worldwide, and it is actually still a top seller for the brand ever since. And voila, there's your story of the start of Bulgari Perfumery and the Jean-Claude Ellena Parfumée as we know now. Thé Vert was the first EDC launched by the House of Bulgari. This tea line has been overlooked quite a bit in our YouTube fragrance community because it's in the women's aisle. This is marketed as a women's fragrance. Personally, I think it's unisex, but you're going to find these bottles in the women's section. It's not going to be in the men's section, and that's why I think this scent has been overlooked. On YouTube, you guys can remind me in the comments below, but I believe there's actually no fragrance reviews on this classic juice. With such a huge backstory, with a huge seller in the game, you would think there'd be at least one fragrance review on this one. I believe the Extreme has quite a few, but this one does not. So I'm excited to let you guys know what I think about it. Thé Vert, this fragrance right here, is the inspiration of many tea-based scents on the market today. It was one, if not the first tea-based fragrance on the market. And it was quite successful, which is a huge landmark and a huge win for Jean-Claude Ellena and the House of Bulgari. Now looking at the note breakdown, at the top we got coriander, orange blossom, mandarin orange, bergamot, cardamom, and lemon. So quite a bit of citrus here, and we got a couple spices here too. In the mid, it's actually very floral. We got jasmine, lily of the valley, and Bulgarian rose. And in the base, we got sandalwood, amber, musk, green tea, woods, and cedar. Major notes to my nose. Jasmine's a major player in this fragrance. The citruses are a major player up front. The cardamom, the coriander, and a lot of the florals do come in through this fragrance. It really is an interesting, obviously the green tea too. That's an interesting note, and I can't wait to talk to you guys a little bit more about that. Group, it is a citrus aromatic fragrance, so it is very much a fresh and uplifting scent. How many sprays in where? I go 1 on the chest, 2 on the arms, bang bang, 2 on the neck, and I am set. 5 sprays of this stuff, I'm good to go. Now my favorite part of all my fragrance reviews, I'm gonna spray this on me, let you guys know what I get from top to bottom from Eau Parfumée Thé Vert. First things first, sparkling citruses. I'm not even smelling my arm now, and that was the one thing that hit me right away from Eau Parfumée Thé Vert, is that immediate freshness. It's just an uplifting feeling when you first smell this fragrance. The top hits you with that immediate freshness. You receive some citruses, mostly bergamot and lemon to my nose. However, it is a mix of citruses, as you see from the note breakdown. The citruses themselves, let's break them down. They are very authentic, juicy, and uplifting. I personally think they have a very high quality to them. The sparkling citrus notes kind of remind me of Ellena's work. And this is obviously later work from this one. So Bvlgari concentré, bergamot from different company. The bergamot, very, very well done by Jean-Claude Ellena, and I think is some of his best work. And you can tell, you know, this really does show his later work. You can tell the citruses in here shows that, ooh, he's got a talent with these citruses. So they're very authentic, and they are, they do deserve the praise it receives in this fragrance. So not too many people really talk too much about the citruses in this fragrance because they don't really last that long. However, that initial sniff, if you own this or you're sniffing it for the first time after watching my review, I'm telling you that citrus, look for it when you're smelling it, and it's absolutely amazing the way it was done. Now, Thé Vert has a watery aspect to it. And I'm gonna hit that a little later. It does use something that is kind of gives out the smell of violets, that also violets gives a watery aspect to fragrances. So really a watery aspect to this fragrance, which goes for the freshness and the uplifting aspect to the fragrance too. And then once the citruses kind of start to die down a little bit, you're gonna start to smell, the fragrance is gonna start gravitating to a very leafy green scent. A lot of people start talking about the green tea in this fragrance, but I want to emphasize a green leafy scent. It starts smelling like the color of this bottle right here, the color of my shirt. It really gives me that greenness. After a few minutes on your skin, you're going to start smelling some faint florals. Already it kind of shows that sweet floral jasmine, a powdery aspect also a little bit. I wouldn't say this is overly a powdery scent. I actually wouldn't describe it as a powdery scent, but it has that floral aspect to the fragrance. It is faint, but the florals are going to come up quite a bit. The woods, same thing. They are very faint. I wouldn't say the woods really come up that much. They stay in the background, and they kind of give depth to the fragrance a little bit. Now the citrus at this point, after several minutes on your skin, the citruses are going to start to fade and the florals are going to start to dominate. Some describe this opening as a crisp morning air, and I couldn't agree more. It really has that watery feel. It has that fresh leaves, fresh jasmine kind of blooming on the side here. I really would agree with that assessment. Now, Jean-Claude Ellena did use Hidione in this fragrance, originally found in jasmine, so it kind of gives you that jasmine smell, and iodine, also to make the smell of violets. Mix them together to give the concept of tea. So Jean-Claude Ellena, his idea for this fragrance was to give a concept of tea. I really feel like he did hit it on the head. The green tea feels more like almost a green tea leaf sitting on top of a hot cup of lemon tea, especially from that first transition from going from a heavy citrus fragrance to more of a floral fragrance. It has a bit of smoke to it, not too much that kind of makes you think about a hot cup of something. It really does have that aspect to it. Really a great imagery to a fragrance. I really feel like Ellena did very, very well with this kind of concept. So this fragrance has crisp jasmine, florals, and don't forget the spices here, the cardamom and the coriander. They give this scent a lightness to it. I really felt like this fragrance has that really that uplifting crispness to it, a lightness to it. It's not a heavy fragrance at all. Almost has like a weightlessness to it. Speaking about the spices, now let's talk about the spices a little more, the coriander and cardamom, because people don't talk too much about the spices in Jean-Claude Ellena's fragrance unless it really hits your nose hard, and some people have that with Ellena fragrances. The spices just bam hit them hard. They're very well hidden in this fragrance and in a lot of his fresh fragrances too. Case in point, Bvlgari concentré. So coriander and cardamom are both spices that have heavily influenced Ellena's style. So this is where it started, and you can see in his other fragrances that he has used coriander and cardamom very well. He mastered the application of utilizing these spices in a way that I would call faded. It adds warmth to the fragrance, but it really has breaks on it. Case in point, Déclaration by Cartier. That's another Ellena fragrance that he has that kind of feeling to it. Bvlgari comes to mind, also Bvlgari concentré. So really, Thé Vert really kind of made me want to dissect Ellena's style, and this is where it first started. So I really enjoyed kind of reviewing this fragrance. So let's get into more of the dry down of Eau Parfumée. Now, before we get into the dry down of this fragrance, I just wanted to let you guys know the top of Thé Vert is one of the better aspects of this set before the florals come into play. The citrus and green notes truly shine in this fragrance. I really feel like that introduction is the shining point of Eau Parfumée au Thé Vert. Now, let's get into more of the dry down. Once Thé Vert starts getting more into the thickness of its mid to base, the florals tend to take over the scent. However, on my skin, it never really showed a feminine side, and I truly feel Thé Vert is unisex. However, please be advised that it may not be the case for everyone. I know it goes into more of a floral aspect in the mid of this fragrance. However, I feel like it was really a well-constructed fragrance. There's still some woods in here. There's still those spices. There's the citruses that kind of hang on, and that green tea feel and that greenness to this fragrance. Now, the mid comes in almost aldehydic. It still has that sparkling feeling that I got from the citruses up top, and of course floral. There is a solid green tea note comes into play in this fragrance, and it will bounce here and there. Some of the spice helped this out, mostly the cardamom, which gives it a hint of sweetness, but also a little earthy like feel that really gives it a tea like idea to the whole fragrance. Cardamom is a major player in this fragrance. The sweetness also comes from the jasmine too, just an FYI, but cardamom has a huge factor in this particular fragrance. It has that milky tea herbal thing going on here, and that goes to being very much a relaxing scent on my skin. I really felt like this when I gravitate to it early in the morning or late at night. I really like wearing this during those times, but also it's a daily wear scent. Mostly woods and the musk, the clean musk, and the scent, and then she's done. Overall, the best aspect of Eau Parfumée Thé Vert, it's its classic tone. I don't like to put classic and dated in the same aspect, I would say. So this fragrance is not dated at all. It works still very well in 2016. It gives you that classic EDC vibe. It cools you. It gives you a fresh take. It's timeless. It can be a signature scent for anybody for years to come. I don't think this is ever going to go out of style. On the other side, it does lack a little bit of personality up front. However, ones that do appreciate this scent will agree with me that it has intriguing parts when you start spending quality time with this scent. As a fan of Jean-Claude Ellena, that's where I truly appreciated this fragrance. If I didn't dissect it as much as I did in this fragrance review, knowing who the perfumier is and kind of knowing his background, I probably wouldn't appreciate this scent as much as I do now. Now, my final take on this scent. Over the past few decades, Eau Parfumée Thé Vert has been imitated. However, it remains one of the best in this genre, and I believe it is a landmark fragrance in our community that started the 90s to the path of fragrances released. This was the one that started the fresh genre, in my opinion. It really did start changing the game. That's where Issey Miyake came into play. CK1 started to come into play, and then it just the ball just started rolling a little bit. It has that classic Jean-Claude Ellena DNA. So if you like Jean-Claude Ellena fragrances, this is right up your alley. It has that complexity to the fragrance, yet it's very simple. I like saying that Jean-Claude Ellena fragrances are very simple. If you don't look any further in this fragrance, if you're not one to dissect a fragrance like I do, you're going to see that this is a simple scent. However, you'll find the complexity once you start knowing the perfumier and you start getting more familiar with the fragrance. It is very much refreshing, and it is light and still has that herbal take or that green take to this fragrance. This is a classic tea scent, one of my best traveling scents. I love wearing this traveling. Airport, airplane, train, whatever. Why? Because it's more of a transparent scent. It's non-offensive. It's easy to wear. You really can't overspray this stuff. I never really had anybody go like, who stinks? No. I could wear 10 sprays of this stuff, nothing. It is perfect for people that want something light. If you're looking for something relaxing, this one works for me too. It relaxes me a little bit. This one gives you a nice soft feel to it. If you're looking for a heavy spiced tea or a darker tea scent, this is not for you. It has more of a soft floral aspect to it with the imagery of almost a tea-like aspect to it. I love wearing this one, like I said earlier in the review, early mornings, late at night, before bed. This EDC does have EDC staying power on my skin. I'll be honest with you guys, the staying power on my skin is very light, projection's very light. But then again, this is not made to be a beast mode scent. This is more of a clean, come out of the shower type. This was the start of the clean, fresh, anti-fragrance segment that came out in the early 90s of the Issey Miyake, CK1s, and multiple others. I believe this one is one of the better ones, and actually one of the earliest ones that is timeless and still works today. And there's a lot of those 90s clean scents, the anti-fragrances of the world, that really couldn't stand the test of time. And I believe this one, it proofs in the pudding as far as sales go. And this one does very Now, why would you hate it? Too bland, sits close to the skin, feminine to those uber males out there. Now, why would you love it? Easy to wear, comforting, classic, yet modern at the same time. My recommended age for this fragrance, unisex, women and men. Men, don't shy away from this one. You're missing a gem, especially if you're an Ellena fan. You have to check this one out. And I would have to say, as far as age goes, I think anybody can really pull this off. Reminds people of what? So a lot of green tea based fragrance, Green Tea by Elizabeth Arden. Bamboo Harmony is pretty much a clone of this by Kilian at 4 times the price. I know that Kilian Hennessy was heavily, he loved this fragrance, and Bamboo Harmony is pretty much the same exact thing. CK1, L'Artisan, Thé pour un été. Awards on my channel. This one I absolutely love wearing in the spring, and you're going to see it. The awards on my channel, let's round them up. It made number 11, Spring Designer Top 20 in 2012. Next year, number 6, Spring Designer Top 20, 2013. 2014, Spring Designer at number 16. And last year, Spring Top 20 Designer at number 11. And you could probably guess, I haven't done my spring list yet, but this is going to make my top 20 for spring for 2016 too. Best time to wear this fragrance, I love wearing this during the daytime. So it's more of a daily wear scent for me. However, I like wearing this right before bed. If I'm, going to bed and going to read a book or something, this is what I wear. Or actually to freshen up after the gym, something like that. Or to actually wear straight in the morning, especially if I have like a day off, weekend, and I'm having my coffee and I'm actually working on fragrance reviews or something like that. This kind of gives me that freshness to start off my morning. That's the way I love wearing this fragrance. Seasons, obviously spring and summer, and you can kind of wear it at the start of fall. I like wearing it a little bit at the start of fall. Now, is it for you? Development, is it linear, average, or complex? I would go middle of the road. This is average as far as development goes. It has that fresh opening, and then it develops into more of a floral ending, and then you have that musky, woody backbone. Is it work appropriate? Yes, it's inoffensive. It's easy to wear. It's very transparent. Work appropriate all the way through. Price, is it justified? Yes. This stuff can be had for cheap. Person it's for, is it for a collector, an everyday man? This is absolutely for an everyday man that is not scared of unisex scents or florals. Signature scent worthy? Oh yeah. Now my beautiful rating system, let's go. Projection, 3 out of 10. It's very soft on my skin when I wore it. Didn't matter which seasons or how much application. It just really is a light scent. It will not jump off your skin. Longevity, same thing. 3 bottles out of 10. I'm getting 2 to 5 hours. What do you expect from EDC concentration? Sometimes it gave me more. Again, longevity is a collection of all my wearings in different seasons, and that is usually my ballpark, 2 to 5 hours, so it gets a 3. My compliment factor, it is fairly average. I'm going to give it a 6 bottles out of 10. It does garner compliments, but it's not one of those that it's going to garner, let's say, an abundance of compliments. I probably had a handful of them during my wearings with it, and I wore quite a bit of this juice. It's 1/3 empty, I would say. My uniqueness scale, I would say a 7. Now, in the year that it was released, it would have been a 10. However, now, obviously, there's so many imitators of this fragrance. However, I'm going to give it its just due, and I'm going to give it a 7. Pricing versus what you get as far as juice, I would have to give it a really good score of an 8. Versatility, this gets an 8. Smell, this also gets an 8. I think it's a very solid scent. As far as an overall rating, I am going to give Eau Parfumée au Thé Vert a very solid rating of an 8. And that goes to buy, try, or pass. I highly recommend Eau Parfumée au Thé Vert as a buy. I think it is one of the better Jean-Claude Ellena's. And usually when you're, your first couple fragrances in your style, you're starting to kind of discover yourself, and then you're just going to get better and better. This fragrance just showed how how well Ellena was even early on. So this is a definite buy, especially for Ellena fanboys like myself. It really does show you his style and the start of it. It really was a great journey to smell this thing. And who would have thunk this could have been Fahrenheit? So a very honest buy from me. I think it is well worth it. One of the better scents from the House of Bvlgari. So please comment below if you have smelt this fragrance. Please let me know what you think about the review. Do you agree? You disagree? Love hearing your comments. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.